Okay, so Hamish, in your keynote speech this morning, opening the conference, you talked about a very wide view of the global economy and where issues are. Can you just go back to some of that and you actually see growth in the world?
I think it's a two-speed world. We're going to get continued pretty strong growth from most of the emerging world. Maybe very strong growth, but pretty strong growth. And we're going to see slower growth from the developed world. Decent-ish in America, decent-ish in bits of Europe, but I'm afraid bits of Europe struggling, and will continue to struggle.
One of the things that struck me is that you, in looking at the emerging world, you focused on certain economies quite strongly. Nigeria, you were very bullish about, for instance.
So I think that you have to look at not just the BRICS. I mean, all this focus on the BRICS, and quite rightly so, because they are the largest economies of the emerging world. But I think it's very important to look beyond that to places like Indonesia, Mexico, Turkey, and so on. And within Africa, we always have to remember Nigeria is huge. It's huge in terms of its oil output, and it's huge in terms of its number of population. So I think there will be countries in Africa which surprise us by doing pretty well.
So massive potential elsewhere in the world. Meanwhile, in the Eurozone, as you say, a two-speed economy there as well.
I think there's a north and there's a south, to oversimplify. And I think southern Europe, for all sorts of reasons, including difficulties, pressures from lack of competitiveness within the euro, but also from demography and so on, will be slower growing. Whereas you look at Scandinavia, you look at Germany, you look at the UK, we're in Europe, if not in the euro, I think there is a prospect of not bad growth. Not great, but not bad.
But in terms of the fallout from the banking crisis, you're quite pessimistic about timescales.
I think that if you have a load of debt, you have to work that debt off, and that takes time. And you can look at house prices in the UK. We've adjusted a bit, but they're still expensive. You look at the level of debt that consumers are carrying in Britain and America, coming down a bit, but still high. This thing takes time.
So, in summary, you're cautiously optimistic, I think.
I think cautiously optimistic, but two-speed world, that's the big message, I'm afraid. Two-speed world, and we are in the slower bit of it.
Okay, thank you very much, Hamish.
Thank you.